Welcome back to the channel. Today is all about a movement shenanigans deck, but we're not moving our own cards, we're moving our opponent's cards. So I just pulled Aero, who is regarded as one of the best 5-drops / best cards in the game. So I had to put her in a deck, try her out for myself. So she is a 5-cost, 8-power unit. On reveal, move all enemy cards played this turn to this location. So essentially you can force your enemy to move all the cards that they just played on that particular turn to the location that you play Aero at. So that goes really well with the Kingpin and Magneto synergy, so I threw that in this deck. If you don't know Kingpin, he's a 3-cost 4-power. When a card moves here on turn 6, destroy it. So that's one way to get things destroyed. It is a bit telegraphed because, they're going to know Kingpin's active on turn 6, so they can just play the cards there. But if you time it right, you can make it so that location isn't that advantageous to play cards at and kind of force some easy retreats on your opponent. The other thing that we can move cards with here is Magneto himself. I got the sweet baby variant. He is a 6-power 12 or 6 energy 12 power. On reveal, move all opposing 3 and 4 cost cards to this location. So it doesn't really matter where they're playing their cards, but you can push all of their 3 and 4 cost cards to the Kingpin location and kill them, or it can just simply push those cards away from other key locations and get you some easy victories at some other locations. Super good card here. Plus, 12 power for 6 is just incredible. It's like the Hulk, but, he's got a cool effect as well. So then I fill in the rest of the deck with some simple things. I'm using Storm, who we all know locks down a location, and Jessica Jones, which is, match made in heaven. They're really great together. On 3 and 4, you can really get a strong location there. So I'm using those two. Since we're locking down a location and we have some movement shenanigans, it's kind of a fun way to mess around with what they're doing. Then I'm using Polaris. She's not as important to the deck as Kingpin, Aero, and Magneto, so if you don't have Polaris, no big deal. But she's a 3-power or 3 energy 5-power on reveal, move an opposing 1 or 2 cost card to this location. She really is good at screwing with destroy decks. People play Bucky Barnes, people play something that they want to destroy, and then you shift that card out just in time before it got destroyed to a different location. Really good for that. Also really good against like Angela. If you can shift Angela over to a location that's more jam-packed, that's really good, so she can get less buffs. In general, just a really powerful card. But if you don't have her, she's not key to the deck. Then for ones, I'm just using Iceman and Nightcrawler. Anytime I put Iceman in the deck, I typically put Scorpion. He's just really good for afflicting your opponent with some more debuffs. And then I'm using 2 other pull 3 2-drops that are very not key to the deck, but fun. I'm using Mojo. And he's kind of cool with this deck because since I can actually push things to a certain location, I can try to trigger his ability a lot easier. It's a really fun way to do it. So if you can kind of put him at one of your locations, that's pretty poppin'. And then, play Polaris on the location to get the final card there or something. It's really fun. Or just put him where you're going to play Magneto, and that normally can do it too. Quake is the other 2-drop I'm using. Not key to the deck, but very fun to just play here in the middle and shift up the locations a bit. Can really screw some people around. And since we're really trying to just screw with our opponent with all the things that we're moving on their side, this can just add another dimension to it. But like I said, both of those not necessary. If you have Kingpin, Aero, and Magneto, or even just Kingpin and one of the other two, you can play a style of this deck. Just swap out for some other generic flex spot 2-cost units like Scarlet Witch, or just something from pool 1 or 2. Last card I'm playing here is America Chavez, just to thin out the deck a little bit so I can hit my good combos, and then on turn 6, if I don't have Magneto, I'll at least have a 9-power flat drop, which is great. So that is the deck. It has a lot of movement shenanigans, a lot of fun goes into this. You can really mess with your opponent. I will say if there's a few cards that I would add to this deck if I had them, mainly you can definitely play around with Hobgoblin in here, but Green Goblin's amazing in this deck. Don't have Green Goblin, but Magneto will actually move Green Goblin to this location. So it's a really fun way to do it. That kind of gives you a advantage when you don't have Kingpin, because you can drag a negative unit to the location where Magneto's at and try to really win a big location that way. So he'd be really fun. But Hobgoblin's really good in this deck as well, because you can just flood their board and move around and do things like that. So try that out. And like I said, if you don't have Mojo or Quake or Polaris, you can clearly just throw in some other 2-drops that are solid staples. You could put Armor in the deck as an early cost card. You could put Scarlet Witch, like I said, in the deck as an early cost card. And then for 3, really there's a whole lot you could put in, but I'd probably go something like Mr. Fantastic, or possibly even just Killmonger. to get rid of some nice one-cost cards. So that's the deck. I'm going to jump into some gameplay as always. If you're sticking around for that, I appreciate it. If not, make sure you leave a subscription to the channel, get some more spicy decks from the channel, and help us as we almost reach 1,000 here. All right, let's get to some gameplay. Kingpin, Storm, and Mojo. And we got Peak, the Peak. So our cards are going to be all wonky costing-wise, but that's all right. He's got Yondu. I've got Nightcrawler. So we're going to actually drop a nice turn 2 Storm. Alright, so Storm's not going to be the best because I don't have Jessica Jones just yet, so I'm going to wait until I can play Storm next turn. Well, I do have Jessica Jones, so I just can't afford her next turn, is what I meant. But now it's on to turn 3. Cards here are going to have +5 power, so we're going to try to shut down this middle location with Storm into Jessica Jones. And then we do have some shenanigans with Kingpin Aero if we want to try to get those off. So he's playing Wong here. 4 power Wong. Iceman hits Kingpin again. Kingpin's getting brutal. That's 5 cost for 2 power now. Rough times to be a Kingpin. So I am glad I played Storm there, so he'll only get at least 1 ability off of this Wong. Alright, so he got Ironheart down, but we're going to win that location because Jessica Jones is going to get +4 power. So we'll win that location. We have to worry about trying to win this other one. And I think I can do so just naturally. I'm going to actually play Aero and Nightcrawler. And this is how Mojo kind of works with the deck. So you can play Aero here. Even if you play something to the left, it's going to move it to this location and force this right location to be, you know, a full location. Or at least I can by just playing Magneto there next turn. So exactly what we predict. So Black Panther comes out to 10 power. We're going to yank him over to us over here. So we know he is winning this location as of now. But once I play Magneto down, Magneto is going to be 17 power there. So that'll put me up to 44, and then Mojo will get +6. So we're going to play Magneto to the right. We're winning the middle. So let's see what happens. He's got Chavez, who clearly wins that. Magneto should boost us just over with Mojo's buff, and that kind of perfectly exemplified why Mojo's in the deck. Is a fun card to have. I don't think he's 100% necessary, but you can do some really fun things like that. And since we are doing some things with lockdown locations and some movement shenanigans, Nightcrawler finds a really good home here too. Alright, so let's see if we can get another one going. Iceman, Polaris, and Kingpin into Scorpion. So I really love the Iceman into Scorpion curve. It's just really a good curve. You can play that in any deck that you want, really, and it just kind of functions really well. So we got Miniaturized Lab and Dream Dimension. So some cards are going to cost a little bit more, but we are going to keep Kingpin and Magneto in our hand for now. That's going to be pretty good. We can try to pull that off later. But we're not going to be able to pull it off on the left. So we're going to have to be able to pull it off somewhere else. So I think I'm actually going to go with Polaris here and just pull the squirrel to the middle. So I'm going to try to bulk up this middle location here. Really going to bulk it up because he played a card there as well. So Wolfsbane is going to get the bonus for that. It's kind of weird to play Wolfsbane by himself, but it still just locks that location up a bit, which is nice. I'm going to go Kingpin on the right, Nightcrawler in the mid. So we are setting up for a nice kill on Wolfsbane with Kingpin into Magneto, which is great. He's got Mr. Negative coming out now at a -2 power, who I'll also technically kill. So we're cool with just putting Mojo here for now. Actually, we're going to go with Mojo on the right, because we're going to play Magneto and pull some cards. We're going to kill those cards, but I'm confident I'm going to win these other locations anyway. Mojo kind of could have went anywhere. I could have played just Quake on the right. That probably would have been better, just for the +1 power. But I didn't really feel like shifting the locations or having her in the middle. I mean, shifting the locations wouldn't have had an effect, but I didn't really want to have her in the middle location is the main thing. Alright, so he's got 2 cards there. It's Iron Man and who? And Mystique. Alright, so he's super winning that location now. 20 power, doubling that, that's fine. So we're going to go for the other locations because we ain't winning that one. Alright, we're going to move Nightcrawler over and we're going to play Magneto. He's snapping, so I'm just going to not worry about that right side location. I mean, Kingpin is a telegraphed card, but we can just kind of play around it and try to get a little trickery going. So I'm going to pull Wolfsbane and Mr. Negative to this left location. I should win the middle against 2 squirrels after that with Polaris. And hopefully he plays things to the right. I'll snap as well. And he retreated off the snap. Interesting. This still kind of just shows that really Kingpin had a good opportunity there, but sometimes it's a little telegraphed and you still want to play Magneto on this side. I would have felt decent because I'm going to pull Wolfsbane and Mr. Negative to the left, so it's going to be a total of 2 power there. And I'm sitting at a 18 here, so he would have played 2. He would have had to play cards that boost up really high there. He can't play in the middle because it's full, and I gave him the right. So, interesting game. We got Aero, Polaris, and Mojo Jojo, and Scorpion. Not bad. Monster Metropolis is down. Alright, so it looks like we might get to do some Polaris shenanigans onto some cards that are looking to be destroyed, which could be fun. So we're going to go Scorpion on the right. So we'll have to see where we want to play Polaris depending on what he plays here. But being able to shift things that are targeted to be destroyed is really fun. So yeah, like both of these units, right? He wants to play Carnage or Deathlock right on top. So we're going to play Polaris, and we're going to pull a card. Well, thank God Sokovia didn't discard that. He just lost Professor X, which is very interesting as well. But we're going to play Deathlock over there. Interesting. Playing Polaris here, and we're separating that middle. We're separating that unit to the mid. He feels confident. He's going with a snap here, even though his cards are a bit spread out. I'm not feeling too bad. My curve looks good. I'm playing Jessica Jones this turn. And then I'm playing Kingpin Mojo, and then Aero on turn 6 could be really good. Alright, so she's going to be a +4 power. She's going to be an 8 plus, she's going to get 3 more. She's going to be an 11 to his 10 currently. So I'm already winning that right side location, which feels pretty good. So I'm going to go with Mojo and Kingpin on the right. He's going with Hobgoblin. Alright, so he's got Hobgoblin in the middle, so he wins the middle. So now what he needs to do is just place something on the right, or on the left, and then he thinks he can win that location. But if I pull whatever he's playing over to this location, I should be okay. But if Nova gets destroyed, yeah, so he's playing something that's going to kill Nova, maybe? No, he wasn't playing anything. Interesting. Not sure what he was going for there with the snap, but let me explain the situation. Essentially, if he plays anything to try to win this by 1, I pull it over with Aero, and Kingpin kills him. So he's a little bit forced to play something here, but if he had the ability to destroy Nova, he would have been able to buff these units, and I would have lost this left location. So that was my worry there, is me losing that location. That's why I didn't snap back, why I just let him snap, because I wasn't super confident in that win, because if he could have destroyed Nova, it would have been bad. But he did end up playing Deathlock without triggering any of the destruction. This middle play was cute, putting Hobgoblin on my side with Atlantis, but not quite enough. So that's kind of the flow of the deck, what you're going for. In general, very fun deck. I'm climbing up. I'm almost 60 now. I haven't really been trying to climb that hard, but almost hit 60 rank. I think I'm 59 now, so I'll hit it tonight, and I'll keep grinding with the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have Aero, Kingpin, Magneto, Polaris, any of these cards, give this deck a shot. If you have any suggestions for or edits for the deck that you're trying to make or you're changing up, let me know. I'd love to discuss those changes in the comments below, so let me know. Leave a subscription to the channel. Make sure to stay tuned. We got plenty of more content coming along, and as always, keep on snapping.